friend, I would say, was Mrs. Puppet. She was a Jewish lady, and she lived in an adjoining little town. I always went with my mom to her because Mrs. Puppet had big pockets in her house coat, and she grabbed into it when we came in and pulled out the biggest candy stick for me and gave it to me with a hug. I thought she was the most beautiful person there was. And she was one of 3 people that I knew disappeared, and not knowing where they went, how they went, and what happened to them, until much later when it was all over. But this happened in the Kristallnacht, which is famous, or I'd say infamous, throughout the whole world, when the Jewish people were persecuted just at random, and that was the saddest thing. The other person was Mrs. Vanning, and her daughter's name was Lenchen. She was in my school, in my class, and the SA men with the brown uniforms came around with the tin can to collect money. And this one came to Mrs. Vanning's apartment, or not apartment, was half house. And that was a kitty cross from us, from our house. And he came to sell her one of those things, those buttons. And she said to him, I have my wall full of buttons, I don't need any more. And that's all she said, and she disappeared that night. The third person I know of was Mr. Butchek. He was the father of a large Catholic family, and I think they had 7 children. And he used to knit his long stockings for his children, hand knitted. But anyway, he would not let his children go to youth meetings on Sunday morning because they had to go to church. And that was held against him. And they took first they took the children away from him, and then he disappeared. Those are the 3 cases that stick to my mind. And there are others, small incidents. But at the moment, I don't recall all the details because I never realized that they actually disappeared.
Right.
And that is one of the saddest experiences of my youth.